Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. And today we've got, well, this one's a little bit strange.
Yeah.
A canal turned blood red.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at an article from Live Science. And yeah, this is in Argentina. So
Right. Wow.
pretty wild stuff. So what turned this canal, this crazy color? We're going to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like a mystery novel, this blood red canal.
Uh-huh.
And even where it is kind of a clue, I think. So imagine, if you will, you're in this busy industrial area just outside Buenos Aires.
Okay.
And you've got tanneries, factories right along this canal, the Sarandí Canal.
Okay.
And it runs right alongside a nature reserve. So
Yeah.
kind of a clash of,
Yeah, two worlds colliding. That's
Yeah, and it seems like nature's sending us a pretty vivid message here.
right, definitely. So let's set the scene a little bit. What exactly happened here?
Okay, so it's February 6th, 2025, and residents wake up to this horrifying sight. The Sarandí Canal, usually kind of a murky green color, has turned into this river of red.
No way.
And, there's also this foul smell in the air.
Oh, that's even worse.
One resident, Maria Ducums, she said it looked like a stream of blood.
Oh my God.
Said they'd never seen anything like it before.
Wow, I bet. That's wild. So what was the immediate reaction? Did anyone have any idea what caused this?
So everyone started pointing fingers at this chemical, aniline.
Aniline, okay.
Which is used in dyes and medicines. A lot of factories in that area produce that stuff.
Right.
Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
Aniline's usually colorless.
Okay.
But, get this, aniline can oxidize. That means it reacts with oxygen,
Uh-huh.
and then, boom, color change.
Oh, okay.
It's like, when you cut an apple and it turns brown?
Right, yeah.
That's oxidation.
So you're thinking this aniline reacted with something in the water?
Could be.
And boom, red canal.
But the big question is, why red? And why so suddenly?
Right, yeah. Like, why that color and why so fast?
Now, the Live Science article, it actually mentions that the Sarandí, it's turned green and violet before.
Wait, really?
So this isn't just some, one-off thing.
Wow.
We might be looking at a pattern here.
Okay, so I've got multiple color changes.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound like a bigger problem.
Yeah, it's an ongoing saga, not just a mystery.
So what happened next? Did anyone investigate this?
Yeah. They send out a mobile analysis lab
Okay.
to take some water samples.
Makes sense.
And get this, they used liquid chromatography to analyze the water.
What is that?
So it basically separates out the different components in the water.
Oh, okay.
So they can figure out what's in there.
So like a CSI team for the environment.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. So what did they find?
The initial tests, they pointed to, what everyone suspected, some kind of organic coloring agent.
Okay, so they know it's probably some kind of dye or something. But
And they don't know where it came from.
What? So they know it's a coloring agent, but not where it came from.
Adds another layer to this whole thing.
That's crazy. So we've got a blood red canal, we've got a chemical culprit, and we have no idea where it came from.
We got a lot of unanswered questions here.
This is definitely shaping up to be a deep dive.
Yeah.
So what should we look at next?
Yeah, it's a real mystery, isn't it? We've got this red canal, a possible culprit, but no source. But before we go full detective mode, let's talk about the impact of all this. I mean, the article mentions aniline is super toxic to, things living in the water. What does that mean for the Sarandí?
Well, think about it. You're a fish.
Right.
And suddenly your home turns bright red and the water is filled with this stuff that can mess you up.
Yikes.
Yeah, exposure to aniline, it can really damage fish. Affects their gills, how they reproduce, even their organs.
So it's not just like uncomfortable for them, it could actually kill them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a matter of survival.
That's pretty scary. And I imagine it's not just the thing, right? What about, the plants and everything else living in the canal? Yeah, right, the whole ecosystem's at risk here. Plants absorb aniline, which can stop them from growing, even kill them. And then you've got the tiny organisms, the little guys that form the base of the food chain.
Right.
They get affected, and that triggers a chain reaction. It's like a domino effect.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we've got a potential ecological disaster on our hands.
It's a big deal.
But what about the people? The people living nearby.
Oh, that's a good point.
The article talks about, fish and stuff, but there's going to be risks for people too, right?
Definitely. So, yeah, the main concern with aniline is definitely for aquatic life.
Right.
But if people are exposed to a lot of it, it can be dangerous for them too.
Okay.
Skin irritation, breathing problems, those are common. And there's even some evidence that long-term exposure can affect the nervous system.
Oh, wow. So it's like this canal is kind of a warning sign. If something like
Yeah.
this can happen there, it makes you wonder what else is going on in our waterways, maybe even closer to home.
Absolutely. I think the Sarandí is like a small example of a much bigger problem.
Okay.
Industrial pollution. It's everywhere. It's a global issue, needs a global solution.
Right.
And, they still don't even know where this contamination came from, right?
Yeah.
That just shows you how bad things are with environmental monitoring and regulations.
So, what can we even do about this? How do we stop something like this happening again? Not just in Argentina, but everywhere.
Well, we need to tackle this on a few different levels.
Okay.
First, we need stricter rules about how industries get rid of their waste.
Okay, so stricter rules.
Yeah, make industries take responsibility for the chemicals they use and how they deal with them.
Right, so it's not just about cleaning up afterward, but preventing it in the first place.
Exactly. We got to be proactive.
Okay, so tougher rules, better enforcement. But is that enough? People break rules all the time.
You got a point there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, regulations are important, but we also need to invest in, sustainable technologies and practices,
Okay, so what does that look like?
like finding alternatives to those harmful chemicals, aniline, for example,
Right.
and developing cleaner production processes that create less waste.
So less about cleaning up the mess and more about not making a mess to begin with?
Exactly. It's a whole different way of thinking.
It sounds like a huge shift. It's not just about one company changing, it's entire industries.
Right, and that's where collaboration comes in.
Oh, okay.
You need governments, industries, and scientists all working together to, come up with and use these solutions.
Right, so it's not just about pointing fingers.
No, not at all.
It's about everyone working together to fix it.
Yeah, everyone's responsible, and it's going to take all of us to find solutions.
It's a reminder that we're all connected, Everything we do has an impact.
It really does.
What we buy, the policies our governments make, how businesses operate, it all adds up.
It's like throwing a stone in a pond. The ripples spread out,
Yeah, it all connects.
So that brings us to a really important question.
Okay.
What can the listener do?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How can we, as individuals, contribute to a solution? Because this seems like such a big, complicated problem.
It can feel really overwhelming, right? Like, what can one person do? But surely there are things we can do in our daily lives to make a difference.
Yeah, it's easy to feel like, what can I do? This is such a big issue.
It's true.
But I think we can make a difference.
I agree.
We might not be able to, change an entire industry overnight,
Right.
but we have a lot of power as consumers.
Oh, absolutely.
What we choose to buy, who we buy it from, it sends a message.
It really does.
So it's not just about buying less stuff.
Yeah.
It's about buying better stuff, being mindful about, where our products come from
Exactly, yeah.
and what goes into making them.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. But it's not just about shopping either, right? We can also use our voices
Oh, absolutely.
to advocate for change
For sure.
on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Contact our elected officials, support organizations that are fighting for this stuff.
That's so important.
Make sure they know that we care about protecting the environment.
Yeah, because sometimes it feels like those actions are just, a drop in the bucket.
Right.
But remember, the ocean is made of drops.
Right, exactly. And that brings us back to what we were talking about before, how we're all connected.
We are?
What happens in a canal in Argentina might seem far away.
Yeah.
But when we start thinking about global supply chains, and the environmental impacts of our choices, it hits closer to home.
Yeah, it really does.
And I think this blood red canal, it's like a visual reminder of that, right?
It is.
It's like a wake-up call saying, hey, pay attention.
Yeah.
Ask questions, demand better.
From ourselves, from companies, from our leaders. Yeah.
It's been quite a deep dive today. We started with this shocking image, a canal turned blood red.
Right.
We looked at the science, the potential consequences.
For the environment, for people.
The factors that contribute to pollution.
It's a complex issue.
But, more than that, I think what we've found is a sense of urgency.
Yeah, a call to action, for sure.
This isn't just Argentina's problem. This is a global challenge, and it needs a global response.
And it starts with us.
With each of us.
By being informed, engaged citizens.
Making conscious choices.
Using our voices.
We can all help create a healthier planet.
Absolutely.
This blood red canal, it's a symptom of a problem, but it can also be a catalyst for change.
I hope so.
So as we wrap things up, we want to leave you with a question, a challenge.
Okay.
What will you do to turn this awareness into action? What choices will you make?
What conversations will you start?
What changes will you demand?
Hmm.
Remember, even small actions multiplied by millions can make a huge difference.
They really can.
The power to create a brighter, more sustainable future, it's in our hands.
It is.
So let's get to work.